The year is 1902. In the quiet Sicilian town of San Celeste, loyalty is currency, betrayal is fatal, and every handshake could be the start of an empire or a war. You step into the shoes of Enzo Favara, a man who will carve his name into the blood-soaked history of organized crime. But outside the game's world, another war is brewing, not in the streets but in the reviews. Some call it a masterpiece worth every cent. Others see it as a short, unfinished deal that cheats the player. Today, we're not just talking about a Mafia game, we're putting the old country on trial. Mafia: The Old Country is causing major controversy among players right now. On Steam, it has very positive reviews with 85% of nearly 1,900 players giving it thumbs up. Players are saying things like only $50 for such polished and cinematic adventure. But here's the kicker, other players are literally threatening to boycott the game because it's only 10 to 13 hours long. One frustrated player called it embarrassingly brief, representing indie developer vibes rather than major studio output. Performance issues are also plaguing users with crashes and stability problems. So what's really going on here? Let's break this all down. The Mafia franchise has been around for over 20 years. While reception has varied, each main entry earned classic status. However, quality declined since the 2002 original, with Mafia 3 receiving mixed reviews. Despite this, Mafia 3 sold 7 million copies by 2020. Now in 2025, we have Mafia: The Old Country. Does it revitalize the franchise or just maintain the status quo? Let's start with the story. Most players come to Mafia games for mature, high-stakes narratives. The Old Country continues this tradition with excellent storytelling throughout most of its runtime. You play as Enzo Favara, who joins Don Torrisi's crime family and rises through the ranks. The game is set in early 1900s Sicily, specifically in the fictional town of San Celeste. This serves as a prequel exploring the brutal origins of organized crime itself. What makes this story special is its authentic Sicilian setting. The development team actually traveled to Sicily to gather reference material. They toured locations, capturing images and audio so detailed that some in-game areas feel like exact recreations. The team even visited traditional knife-making shops where craftsmen still forged blades using centuries-old techniques, and this research helped every aspect of the game. The supporting characters are well written and expertly voiced. The narrative genuinely made you care about these characters and their outcomes. Themes of loyalty, betrayal, and human ambition are explored through meaningful dialogue. The game features full Italian localization, including authentic Sicilian voice acting, which adds incredible immersion. You can actually play through the entire experience with Sicilian dialogue and subtitles. However, the ending feels rushed and incomplete. The transition to the climax seems abrupt, like critical story segments were cut. While The Old Country delivers compelling storytelling overall, better pacing could have elevated the entire experience. Despite this issue, it's one of the franchise's strongest narratives. Gameplay mechanics are familiar, but with important changes. Stealth plays a major role, with many missions requiring undetected completion. Some missions enforce strict no-detection rules. Unlike previous Mafia games, Enzo is exceptionally stealthy, relying heavily on knives for silent eliminations. This creates a more intimate, visceral combat experience. Taking down unaware enemies or waiting for the right moment to slip past creates good tension. Period-accurate weapons take center stage, with stiletto knives being just as important as shotguns and pistols. Different knives offer unique buffs like increased damage or health restoration. The limited ammunition creates genuine tension, making every bullet count. You can distract guards by throwing objects, though stealth systems remain basic. Gunfights follow standard cover-based mechanics, but with period-appropriate weapons creating unique challenges. Weapon variety is solid, offering shotguns, rifles, handguns, and the iconic sawed-off shotgun. Enemy intelligence shows clear improvements, displaying coordinated behaviors. One-on-one knife duels add variety as alternatives to gunplay. These appear mainly during story climaxes, focusing on dodging, parrying, and precise timing. However, some reviews note these become repetitive since every boss fight uses the same format. A basic skill system lets you improve reload speed, ammunition discovery, and more. While simple, combat feels more polished than previous entries. The game emphasizes both melee weapons and period-accurate firearms, creating strategic choices between stealth takedowns, traditional shootouts, and close-quarters blade combat. You can buy period-appropriate cars and horses. The old vehicles are incredibly detailed, right down to hanging lanterns and leather-strapped trunks. Despite stunning environmental design, this isn't an open-world game. The development team made a conscious decision to abandon the open-world format entirely, returning to the linear, story-driven experience of the first two games. I appreciate this focused approach over Mafia 3's open-world design. The team prioritizes narrative over aimless wandering, even including fast travel during story missions. This decision came after recognizing that Mafia 3's bloated open-world design didn't fit the series' strengths. Instead, the Old Country offers diverse environments within its linear structure. You'll traverse underground crypts and crumbling ruins, bountiful vineyards and ornate opera houses, lush countryside and coastal terrain. The Sicilian landscape isn't uniform, and the team recreated these overlapping settings authentically. You can seamlessly move through varied environments in one interconnected map. The rough-hewn beauty of Sicily's rugged countryside contrasts sharply with urban alleyways, but treachery and violence run equally deep in both settings. The Old Country features impressive action sequences with exciting vehicle and horseback chases, racing segments, and spectacular set pieces, and vehicle handling feels responsive with options for realistic driving and manual transmission. The game includes exactly one race with generous checkpoints, though reviews suggest it's not particularly engaging. Campaign lasts 10 to 15 hours depending on difficulty. This brings us to the major controversy. Players discovered the game can be completed in 10 to 13 hours including optional content. Similar to previous games in the series, the development team confirmed this length was intentional, designed for players wanting compelling stories without massive time commitments. However, this revelation triggered boycott threats, with many arguing insufficient value despite the reduced $50 price point. At high resolution with advanced graphics settings, the game offers comprehensive visual options. Occasional frame drops occurred, but generally maintained smooth gameplay with high settings. Performance was acceptable, though results vary by hardware. The minimum requirements include modern gaming hardware for good performance. Visual presentation impresses with detailed character models and solid musical score. The game soaks players in sun-drenched Mediterranean scenery with picture-perfect visuals. Combined with excellent voice acting, it demonstrates strong production values. The attention to environmental detail is staggering, recreating not just visual aspects of early 1900s Sicily, but cultural and social atmosphere. Every stone building, olive grove, and dusty road contributes to the overall experience. Current Steam reception tells an interesting story. As of August 2025, the Old Country has very positive status with over 1,600 reviews. About 85% of nearly 1,900 reviews are positive. Players praise the $50 price for polished cinematic entertainment, smooth performance, and engaging storytelling. World building and voice acting receive consistent praise. Many appreciate the return to focused linear design. However, major player division exists. Game length controversy dominates discussions. Critics describe the experience as an expensive demonstration, demanding sale prices before purchase. Performance issues plague some Steam users. Negative reviews cite crashes, stability problems, and technical difficulties. Some report worse performance than expected despite meeting requirements. Others say it feels inferior to original franchise entries, with gameplay described as mediocre and repetitive. Limited replay value frustrates players. No additional game modes or meaningful post-game content exists. Despite gorgeous Sicilian environments, minimal exploration opportunities leave the beautiful world underutilized. However, some players feel they appreciate entertainment that respects time investment without unnecessary padding. The game functions as an argument against open-world bloat. Critics rate the Old Country differently from players. Review scores range 75 to 76 out of 100, making it the second highest rated franchise entry. Critics praise the return to linear design and authentic Sicilian atmosphere. However, Steam player counts tell a different story. Peak users reach 27,000, which falls below previous games in the series. This exemplifies modern gaming debates between shorter focused experiences versus longer content-rich games. Some players prefer 10 to 15 hour experiences that don't overstay their welcome, while others feel cheated by insufficient content for the price. The industry discussion about game length and value continues playing out through the Old Country's reception. The game succeeds in numerous areas while lacking replay value. Post-completion, you can explore environments, replay chapters, or buy vehicles and horses, but no substantial additional content exists. A free roam mode unlocks after completion, letting you explore the wider map at leisure, track down collectibles, and enjoy the countryside atmosphere. At this price point, it's reasonable, though players expecting greater depth may feel disappointed. The Old Country represents focused single-player revival at moderate pricing, delivering concentrated adventures. The Steam Very positive rating shows most buyers feel satisfied, especially those with appropriate expectations. If you prefer strong storytelling and refined design that respects your time, this suits you. However, those wanting extensive content, replay value, or concerned about performance should wait for sales or updates. This release demonstrates modern development challenges, balancing creative vision against commercial expectations while satisfying diverse player bases with varying preferences for game length, content density, and value. The game plays it safe while delivering a serviceable crime story prequel at the promised price point. In the end, Mafia: The Old Country isn't trying to be everything to everyone, and maybe that's why it's so polarizing. It delivers a focused, story-driven experience that respects your time, drenched in authentic Sicilian atmosphere, but it won't give you weeks of gameplay or endless reasons to return. For some, that's exactly what the franchise needed after Mafia 3. For others, it's a missed opportunity in a world too rich to only visit once. Love it or hate it, this game has reignited a debate that's bigger than just one title, and in the world of Mafia, the only verdict that matters is yours. So tell me, are you planning to play Mafia or are you skipping this one? And if so, why? Comment below and be sure to like and subscribe, or else you still watch Coco Melon. And with that, I'm out. Peace.